sama nyoman
Iya.
skillnya ini
Enggak dong.
Kalau skill emang Alam lebih jago, attitude Paul lebih jago.
Jangan gitu.
Ini Alam
baru mulai
Badukun,
udah dua bukan
Alam Badukun.
beda.
Saksin Bogor, sahabat gua.
Sahabat kan udah
tackle-nya bersih tuh.
bener udah tukeran jersey juga
Iya,
kok.
Clinically tested. Oh, proven. See visible growth in 12 weeks.
Beda sama nyoman
Iya.
skillnya ini
Enggak dong.
Kalau skill emang Alam lebih jago, attitude Paul lebih jago.
Jangan gitu.
Ini Alam
baru mulai
Badukun,
udah dua bukan
Alam Badukun.
beda.
Saksin Bogor, sahabat gua.
Sahabat kan udah
tackle-nya bersih tuh.
bener udah tukeran jersey juga
Iya,
kok.
bersih.
bener,
Maksudnya tackle bersih, cuma niatnya jahat gitu.
Oh iya, untung yang di tackle jago ya.
Amar jago.
Amar jago, jadi dia bisa lompat lagi.
Buat selamat datang di podcast Giba.
Gak ada. Nah, kita ngomongin yang baik-baik. Iya, karena nyoman gak enak kalau kita ngomong sepak bola mah nyoman Paul dia latihan di Swedia, mah harusnya di Liga 1, Bang. Iya,
Yang
di
gue
Swedia.
denger sih dia dulu pelatihnya Thomas Brolin. Lu kan tahu kan?
Tahun berapa itu?
94. Itu Thomas Brolin itu satu tim sama siapa namanya? Kita
Martin Dahlin.
bukan yang
Bima Sakti.
Bima Sakti. Gue interview sama Bima Sakti, dia cerita.
Waktu Bima main di sana.
Iya, jadi Bima Sakti tuh sempet nekel Thomas Brolin.
Iya.
Waktu di timnya, di tackle terus dibilang
Gue seneng ya kalau singkat nggak ada
Gitu kayak,
nggak ada orang yang denger
"Bagus
ya.
kayak gini, lo tackle aja gue kayak gini."
Iya benar.
Langsung respect. Akhirnya dia dapat respect di tim itu.
Habis
Benar,
itu
benar.
dia ke Parma.
Abis itu dia ke Parma bener.
Parma,
Iya.
terus di USA 94 dia salah satu bintang saat
Iya,
itu.
iya.
Itu idola tuh Thomas Brolin,
Thomas Brolin
Dahlin,
betul.
Hendrik Larsson masih
Hendrik
muda.
Larsson masih muda,
Iya.
benar.
Pelatihnya nyoman Paul itu, Bang.
Hendrik Larsson.
Bukan. Ada tuh penyanyi juga.
Siapa?
Sarah Larsson.
Oh iya, aduh.
Lu di Swedia tuh karena lu emang latihan ke sana atau lu memang tinggal di sana terus jadi latihan?
Enggak, dulunya emang sesuka itu sama bola
Hah?
di Bali, tapi kan sarana prasarana cuma bisa memadai, waktu itu cuma futsal.
Nah,
Tapi kayak ada privilege, papa dari sana dan papa juga udah tinggal kerja di sana. Dia cuma bisa nyariin link untuk ada open selection.
Oke.
Itu di Hokdaiko di Liga 2.
Oke.
Liga 2. Umur masih 15 tuh. Tapi basic futsal, tapi niatnya udah dia membara lah jauh-jauh dari
Swedia.
ya jauh-jauh dari Bali
Bali,
Swedia,
Swedia.
ya nggak boleh gagal dong gitu.
Wis.
Masa gagal gitu kan.
Nah, yang akhirnya nyerah jadi pemain bola kenapa?
Kejadian ini peristiwa Malang.
Oh,
iya.
Itu membuat lu berhenti.
Turning point-nya di sana malah.
respect,
Respect,
Paul,
respect.
Tapi tadinya mau main di Malang. Beda ya?
Oh, Persema maksudnya bukan.
Enggak, bukan. Terus Malang.
Emang mungkin emang nggak tahu ya, bukan nyari pelarian atau gimana. Mungkin memang taktik itu sudah kayak gitu.
Iya.
Waktu itu ya berhenti gara-gara kanjuruan, nganggur 3 bulan kalau nggak salah. Nganggur 3 bulan. Habis itu tawaran lagi di Bayangkara. Di Bayangkara FC. Ya ke Jakarta dong waktu itu. Latihan di PTK kemarin.
Iya.
Oh, itu kandang pada awal, Bos.
Iya.
Bola.
Terus.
Itu PTK latihan di sana. Seiring waktu itu masih dalam naungan WCP. Coach Widodo.
Iya.
Coach Widodo. Terus update terakhir kayak kalau misalnya udah ada kejelasan dari kepolisian terkait izinnya, baru kita ngomongin kontrak juga. Makanya sabar dulu 2 minggu di sini, kalau misalnya udah ada kejelasan baru kita.
Oke.
Ya udah, mau nggak mau Paul kesini. Sembari mungkin minggu kedua ya kalau nggak salah ya. Pokoknya itu masih bulan November, lagi di mes cross holiday.
Oke.
Iya.
Itu ke rumah gue itu. Iya bener.
Iya, makanya coba ya kayak gitu. Kita di mana ya? Kebetulan teman-teman SMP dulu yang di Bali ada yang kuliah di sini, banyak yang kuliah di sini kan. Terus berkontak langsung dari mereka. Udah.
Mesnya Bayangkara di mana?
Spesifiknya di mana ya? Kebayoran Lama kalau nggak salah. Pokoknya masih dekat-dekat sana.
Juga dekat stadion.
Dekat-dekat sana.
Oke. Bukan mes polisi ya?
Apa?
Bukan mes polisi ya?
Bukan.
Oh iya, ada ini sendiri tuh ya.
Ada.
Dulu itu kan siapa yang timnas kita yang Bayangkara FC? Back. aduh lupa gua namanya lagi.
Apa?
Bukan yang si, jadi ada satu back timnas kita dulu, pemain Bayangkara FC. Aduh lupa gua namanya.
Butuh gede sekarang masih main.
Yang lupa gua yang
Indra Cafe bukan.
bukan sebelumnya lagi. Gak sejauh itu sih, tapi sih di eranya Evan Dimas juga bang.
Hansamo.
Anaknya bola banget.
Iya.
Hansamo.
Gue bola banget tapi Indonesia banget nih.
Hansamo itu sekarang di Persija.
Di Persija benar.
Oh, sekarang Persija ya?
Persija kan tahun lalu salah satu duetnya Rido kan. Berarti lu di
Assalamualaikum.
Enggak, awal
Waalaikumsalam.
di Barito, habis itu Kalteng, habis itu di Medan.
Hai.
PSMS Serdang.
Lu PSDX?
Iya.
Tahun berapa?
Awalnya tuh sebenarnya ikut PSMS kan.
Ya, tahun berapa?
2021 atau 2022.
Nah, beliau asisten manajer PSM
Masih lupa bang. Waktu Medan tuh draft kontraknya udah keluar lagi. Tanda tangan.
Itu kan udah sama ini dong.
Sama
Julius Raja.
Iya, Julius Raja benar.
Iya, masih 2001.
Nikmati, Ra.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I'm just drowning in all this AI gen.
This is Wix Studio, built to meet any brief, with a brief calls for complex structure. Let AI map.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I'm just drowning in all this AI generated content, and everything I do is just the same as everybody else. And how do you stand out in that world? And one thing I'm really worried about right now.
Alright,
is
6
as we move
people
this gets even worse,
are watching me.
the average creator is just
You
gonna get
can
flushed
shout
out
out
all the
in the
noise.
comment.
Here's the thing, there's actually something
Say
simple
something.
you can do about this.
Maybe you want to
This
ask
is what
something.
stand
You
out.
can ask.
Create a personal brand that
I can answer.
This is what we're going to jump into with my good friend Chris Do today. He is the world's expert on personal branding. We're going to get into it right now. All right, Chris, everyone's worried about AI. Is it going to replace or is it going to saturate the market with content, right? How does the creator today create a personal brand that AI can't mess with?
That's a great question, Neil. Okay, let's address first the proliferation of AI-generated content. It's becoming easier for people to not even have ideas anymore, for you to scrape other people's content and just steal it in a way, and then to rewrite it, and then use a fake AI-generated version of your own voice with an AI version of your own video. So you're going to see the kind of content that's being produced today. If you thought it was crazy before, you're going to see it on levels we've not seen before. Exponentially more content. So it's going to become really saturated. I think that's a real opportunity, actually. That the more people that are creating content, that are aware of content, means that we're going to be looking for higher quality content. That the initial wave of people creating content will be all-consuming, and we won't know the difference. But after the dust settles a little bit, I think we're going to look for real people doing real things. And so, believe it or not, the nuance in the way that you speak, how you carry yourself, the little quirks in your tone of voice are going to make a big difference. And I think, as much as I'm a proponent for AI-generated things, I'm going to caution people, especially if you want to develop a really good personal brand, that the word person, that's you, that's me, is in the content itself. So this is very hard to replicate.
Yes. I mean, they could try. You could make an AI
They could
avatar,
try.
Chris, and you could have them give them a conversation.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think there's certain things that are going to become a signal that this is a real piece of content. So you just mentioned, like, okay, all these people are going to be putting out more content. But here's what I noticed, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Like, if you are someone who has thoughts and ideas to share, the AI can help you. You just talked about it helps you organize your thoughts.
Yep.
It can help you organize 3 days worth of content into a nice schedule. There's a lot of like leverage you can get there, but it takes like somebody who's smart, and it allows them to exponentially increase what they can do. So it makes you like on another level. But the guy who's giving kind of dumb inputs or just random, it just gets you to like average. It doesn't get you to like genius.
Yeah.
So it seems to not make you that much smarter. Is that true? Like, is that your assessment?
Well, it depends on the baseline. So if you're really dumb, it'll make you a lot smarter.
Yeah.
But AI in general is designed to kind of meet you in the middle. It's not going to have a strong attitude or opinion about anything. There's a way that it phrases everything. Like, remember, it's not like this, it's like this. There's telltale signs about how AI speaks. And it's very organized, and this is good if you're disorganized. And so it can help you get to that baseline. But to tag on what you're saying is quality in equals quality out. Crap in equals crap out. It's like saying, design me something cool. Well, if it's a really good designer in front of you, they can make you something cool, but it's better for us to be more specific. Like cool like this, and with these parameters, and this is what I'm looking for, and to be able to kind of give feedback on what you see. The problem with a lot of people is they ask it to create things, and they themselves do not know what's good writing, or good video or good aesthetics and design. So when the machine gives you something back, like wonderful, job done, check that off, and put that out there. But they don't realize it's pretty crappy. So AI can do lots of things for you, but you kind of have to think of it as probably the world's most powerful and most intelligent intern. But you need to give it good direction and you need to give it good feedback to make it absolutely great. You and I had an example. You're working with someone generating AI video for you, and I saw it and it looked pretty good. And then I pointed out some things to you, like, what's the narrative arc here? Because it looks like a bunch of random cinematic shots. There's no rising tension. And so after a while, we look at the stuff and we're going to become really bored. It should look like you're doing something, you're on your way somewhere, and each time we see a shot, it's adding to a larger narrative arc, and then you were able to give somebody direction, and then they got you something much better than what they started out with. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you think about the video we just created for our event, right?
Yeah.
And we did like a trailer, and it's I think it's about 30, 40 seconds. So very small, short video, all created by AI. But like the shots in the video were based on our conversation. So you're telling me, you're walking through where you said something about Blade Runner 24/9. I was like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm walking through. There's like a dead slot machine over here, and the city's been destroyed, and it's post-apocalyptic Vegas. So you're walking through, so that we're typing all that into the prompt, and then you're even saying some subtle, like super detailed things, like your hand goes across the rail. Then you walk in, and you can hear the footsteps, and all this is coming from your idea. So it's like, I don't believe that AI would have given me the idea. It would have been a thought partner. I could have gone back and forth with it, but
Right.
those shots were based on your prompts.
Yeah.
Like, someone's like, dude, I love the cinematic, like when your hand goes across the rail. I'm like, well, that's because Chris said that. It didn't just like come out of AI. So I think it's like, would we been able to create that without your creative input?
You could have. It would have taken a lot longer, and you may or may not get there. But I want to zoom back out even further, because you and I are working on the strategy and the messaging of the platform in which you're coming from. It's like you're this anomaly in this world of Me Too, everything. Like, people are just trying to photocopy everything else, and so you're trying to do something different, and you attract a very different kind of people towards you. I thought they were going to be boring in the box, and they want to be out of the box, and you're the voice of that. You're the leader of the resistance. So the narrative you and I were playing around with is, you've come back from the future and it doesn't look good. Just like Reese from the Terminator, he's like, no, it's not working. John Connor sent me back to save humanity, and we must protect Sarah Connor. Maybe your message is, we have to come back to protect the future from a dull version of yourself, because this is where it's all going. So we want to create this wasteland where everything is gone, set in a very near future. Well, we can see that happening. So you, Neil Dingra, after watching the video, you're like, I'm back, everybody, and this is what the future looks like. Let's go do something about it. And who's with me? We're talking about little signals to what's happening inside of each person. That's an emotional thing. I think AI can do this, it just can't do it right now. So those little moments, those details, signal something in our brain we have an emotional reaction to. And so otherwise you just get a lot of glossy visuals that don't do anything for us.
Yeah, the one version of the same video was just disconnected. It was just random shots, didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you talked about this personality and your nuance, like your mannerisms, maybe your jokes, your sense of humor, or lack thereof, whatever that is.
Well, I'm
being in
so
the
sleepy.
content. So I believe in that.
I don't know why
You agree
I'm
that
doing
personality
this.
should be in your personal brand.
For no reason.
In 2025, it's like, if you're not there,
Of
it's
course,
just
I have a
random
reason.
information on the internet. It doesn't matter anymore. And I've noticed a big trend in the last probably 12 months where the viewers' habits, people say the algorithm, but the algorithm is just viewing habits. That's what I mean. It's like people aren't watching just straight informational content anymore. Like if I were to say, here are 3 tips to do X, Y, Z, that video may have done okay a year or 2 ago. Today it's almost dead.
Yeah.
So people have changed their viewing habits, and they don't like, is informational content really difficult to do? Is it dying? Or can you still provide information in a way where people will watch it?
You can still do it. I think the bar gets higher and higher, because at first there's not a lot of competition. So you and your niche, you can do something very basic and get lots of reward for it, get high engagement, follow, comments, all that kind of stuff, and it can feel really good. And everybody's like, oh, the algorithm has changed. They haven't really. It's just the competition's all catching up, and so you need to be a couple of steps ahead.
Hi, hello there.
I've seen people do informational content.
I hope
love
you
it.
have a good day
They do
too.
things a little bit differently. It
Hi,
turns
Mason.
out you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you just have to be like one
Thank you
factor.
for stopping by.
I'll show you what I mean. There was this person who was talking about debunking videos on the internet, and the way they do is through an overwhelming amount of information. And I love this. It's so like first you're like this is too much, and then you get it, and it's a funny joke. So there's a giant swing in the back, and the shoe flies off, hits the dude in the head, and he's like, well. I found out where this location was based on the triangulation of this and this 3 images in the background, the physics and the circumference of this thing and the gravity force, and they were just going on and on nonstop for like a minute, and I was just like, first I'm like, then I'm laughing, and then really laughing. That is highly informational, but done in a very particular, over-the-top, analytical way, and I love that kind of content. There's other people who do like handmade graphics, and they'll say something like, this thing that you're doing is just like this, but then they would move this over here. And the visuals of just moving things around like a shell game.
Hello,
with
three
one shot
people.
doing this was enough for me. Like, yeah, that hooks my brain.
You can share your
that's
thoughts
Very human, by the way. Cut out pieces of paper,
on the
hands-on graphics,
comment
with
section,
somebody's
please.
hands moving around, imperfect lighting. Not AI yet.
Yeah, and what's cool about that is it takes something maybe complex, makes it relatable.
Yeah.
And so people, like, I think the best content is when the average viewer says, oh, I finally get it. Or I love the way Chris explained it. Like, I think that creates, like, a level of trust with you, and then also makes them want to learn the next thing from you, too.
Yeah.
If you did it in a way like that. So, I recently did, like, stuff where I write notes on paper with kind of just my normal handwriting. It's not the best handwriting, but, like, even that as a carousel post would get more reach than if I were to pop on and try and explain those concepts, you know, in a boring way. So, mixing it up is one way. What's another, like, I guess formula for reaching more people with your informational content? I know you talked about you wanting to switch up to doing interviews.
Yeah.
Man on the street. Would you recommend that to the average person?
No, not to the average person, and I consider myself the average person, but if you make enough content, you start to look for new ways of expressing yourself. So if anybody's really early on in their content creation journey, I would just recommend, like, just put in the initial reps. Do what you're supposed to do what feels natural, do what everyone else is doing for a while. And then you hit the wall of, like, where that's going to take you, and then you're going to iterate that. For example, if you learn to play the piano, you got to learn scales first, I think, and just do scales, and eventually you start to, like, have an ear and you understand for music and timing, and then you start to invent songs. And I think that's a really natural progression. So it depends on where each person is. But if you're at your level, you're looking for something novel, something that's new, that's a little bit different, and just change one variable. For example, if you're always filming face on, change the camera looking down. Change it some other way and just move the camera around so that it's a little different. I saw this clip, I think it was yesterday on Instagram, and it said that I've been filming birthday videos all wrong, right? So usually it's filmed on the person and everybody's singing happy birthday to them, so you're seeing the reaction. And then what she did was she just turned the camera around and she filmed everybody else singing happy birthday to her. That hit so different. Because in each person's face, grandma, the husband, the brother, the children, you just feel different. So we've all been filming birthday videos all wrong because the cameras are always trained on the person receiving the wishes versus filming the other way, which is much more meaningful.
This is why reaction videos do so good.
It's just very, if you literally think about it, it's exactly the same, but we're just going to turn the camera around, right? So there's a guy, his name is Alan Peters, and he does logo design work, and instead of doing what everyone does, which is to redesign the logo on a computer screen and doing screenshots, which is cool, right? What he does is he goes through the time, like it takes a lot of time to like cut things out and draw by hand. He manipulates things on paper in front of you. He tells a little story in his Minneapolis kind of or Minnesotan kind of accent, and he's just moving things around. And it's like, this is very refreshing. So for 80 to 90% of the video, you don't even see him at all. You just hear his heavy accent. Yeah. So think about like the one thing that could be a little bit different and lean in on that. So I'm gonna ask you right now, Neil. What are some of the weird things that you like to do that we could possibly incorporate into a video of yours?
So, some things I enjoy, like personally, would be, and I've done this a little bit in content, is music.
Yeah.
So, showing musical taste over like voiceover or over just text on the screen with music instead of talking. So that's mixing it up. The other thing that I've gotten really into is different ways of shooting the content. Like not just sitting camera in the office, but like using my phone. So I just showed you right before we started today's episode, like, hey, I shot this video outside with the iPhone talking to the camera, and it did better than if I would have shot it in the office.
Yeah.
So mixing those up, but like, I think music's one. I love skateboarding with my son. Like, there's all kinds of different things I could do, but I just don't know how would I incorporate those into my educational content where I'm teaching marketing or where I'm teaching finance.
Yeah. So there are a couple of guys. One is Adrian Purr, and his Instagram is OMG Adrian. Another guy, his name is Gox. They're both relatively young. Their work process is more akin to how you produce music videos. I wanted to share it with you in case it kind of like sparked an idea in your mind. I heard Gox being interviewed. He's like, I think he's Latin American, right? He's Colombian. And so English is not his first language, but his content is in English. And so I was thinking, how's this kid able to make such really cool videos that are highly engaging? So he's being interviewed on the stage, and they're asking him, what's your process like? His process blew me away. Okay, here's what he does. He says, first I have an idea, and I write down the entire script. And then he goes and records the entire script, okay? And then he edits the audio so it's perfect. Now we all know that. Everyone can do that. Here's what he does differently. For each shot, because it's all planned out, I'm gonna be here, the camera's gonna be here, all that kind of stuff. He plays back the audio and he minds it back to camera. Like he's lip syncing his own voice. So whenever you watch his videos, like, how's his voice so smooth? What's he doing? But why does it feel a little bit off? This is literally how you make music videos, by the way. They record the track in the studio and they play it back. Sometimes at normal speed, sometimes they play at a different speed. They record that, so they're just lip syncing the performance. Have to worry about the vocals.
Thanks you
They can just
for the likes,
perform.
guys.
And then he edits together. So it's a beautifully produced thing. I was thinking, man, that is really, really good. That's a way to work. Adrian Purr's not that different. He thinks about what he's gonna write, and he is
Hell there.
musically inclined. So he thinks of the song first, then he writes what he's gonna say based on the beat that he's imagined.
Wow.
Yeah, so these guys are working a little bit
Next
differently. It is next level, but that's what it's going to take. So I just saw a clip on the internet. It said something like he had almost no followers. Now he had 700,000 followers in a little over a year's time.
Yeah. I've just seen people find their thing, and it could be years into their content journey,
Yep.
or it could be they just started.
Yeah.
And they find their format like this.
Yeah.
So, for example, there was a guy whose format is super like weightlift buff dude,
Yeah.
and he decided to film his morning routine where he dumps his face in ice and does
Right.
things.
The original guy,
Yeah.
black guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. What's his
The
name?
black guy.
I've already forgot his name, but no, Ashton Hall. Yeah, Ashton Hall is this guy. So he found that format, not just now. Like he found it, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, and he just stuck with it.
Yeah.
And there's just endless videos on this same format.
Yeah.
And then eventually they just started blowing up.
Yeah, it became a meme, right?
Yeah, and it took over the internet, and I think now his brand's huge, millions of followers on multiple platforms worldwide, like really cool. So that format changed his life, honestly. Maybe he wasn't the best creator, but he just tried something and stuck with it. So my question is, when you start a new format, and we've all tried this, we never get to that point, or most people don't, because we don't give it long enough, because you don't see traction. So when do you know, like, I'm on the right track versus, dude, I need to pivot, try something new? Because I've seen people come up with this idea, and I see their eyes light up.
Yeah.
But when they post the first 6 videos and it doesn't go viral, I do maybe this is right. maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Well, let's ask ourselves a bigger question: is why you're doing what you're doing? Are you doing it because you want it to go viral, or do you think that this is the way that you can deliver the content the best? There's a big difference there. So you know those hawkers? I think they're called hawkers. They're on the street and they play music. Is that what they're called? No, they're not called hawkers. What the hell are they called? You know, in the UK they have a term for them. They're out, like Ed Sheeran did this. He would just play on the street and make a few bucks, right? There's a term for them. Whatever, I don't know the term. Forgive me.
Street performer, yeah.
Yeah, the street performer. And they did that not because they thought it was going to go viral, because they had no other option, no venue, no nothing to do. So they're going to just do this to hone their crowd. I think you need to look at content creation kind of like that, like you're a street performer on the internet. You're going to do your thing, and you need to believe in your thing, not because someone else told you to do it or because you saw something else trending. Find a format that works for you, and then what you do is you keep iterating on it. The thing that I find that's kind of disheartening for a lot of people is they try a format or they try something and it doesn't work, and they think the format doesn't work. There's two things. A, the format might not work for you. Perhaps you haven't figured out how to do that format just yet. It takes a while to figure this thing out. Point in context here, I think it's like 2.5 years into content creation before you actually have something that actually goes viral. 2.5 years of creating content multiple times, like a week or whatever, and just getting nothing, and just putting up nothing. Mr. Beast, the most famous creator on YouTube, I think he created content for like over, like, do you know the stats on this? Like, the number of videos he made for a follower was ridiculously low.
Yeah.
Like, he would make a video and get 2 followers, and he did this for like years
Yeah.
until he figured it out. And so it takes that kind of commitment, that passion. Now, fortune can favor you. The first 5 things you do can blow up and good. The problem with that is you'll never know how to solve that once something goes away. You get trapped in early success. So I like it when people struggle a little bit and they go through it and they find out what works and what doesn't, so they're learning something.
Yeah, I think it's crazy how some of the people who I've seen get the early success, like they did something, they figured out some hack that worked in a moment, and they just leveraged it.
Yeah.
And so good for them for being consistent and squeezing that opportunity. But then they don't know what to do next, and there's not much substance behind that.
Right.
So there's a guy in my group, and he's a friend of mine and all of them, and he's like, dude, I've been going viral with this new trend of this type of video. And he did it, and it works.
Yeah.
He developed hundreds of thousands of followers. How he's coming up with the videos, though, is he's using a prompt that he learned from another creator in GPT, and he's putting it together. The problem is, when I talk to him straight up, like if you want to bring him up on stage, you want to put him on a podcast, there's nothing there. Like, he doesn't really believe in the things. He's not really talking from a place of, like, he's really interested in this topic. It's more of like, I just did this to go viral so I could get followers.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, and you've seen this a lot too, is like, not all audiences are created equal. Not all followers are created equal.
Right.
Someone could have a good, same size audience as you today, but it took them a year to get it because they leveraged one of these hacks. You've been doing this for a long time, decades, right? If you post up in LA that you want to do a meetup, you want to do an event, there's people that will come to you. There's people that will bring you some gifts. You know, there's all kinds of cool stuff. This dude could do the same and no one will show up.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's bought into you and your message. You're not even in it. You know, like, you're not even passionate about it. So I think also about this guy who's got great following. I think it's called School of Hard Knocks. He interviews people on the street. But it's all about the other person.
Right.
Like, how'd you get rich? He's in the content, and he's built a huge following. Millions of followers. They also have a community where they help entrepreneurs. But, like, he himself, I don't know what the strength of his personal brand is, because I don't even know what he thinks. He just is the guy who asks the question and hands over the mic.
Right.
So,
AI helps,
like, if you're that
but
person,
it's all in
just
you.
trying to leverage
If you have a
somebody's thing,
value,
you're
yeah,
not building
it's easy for you to spread it
Yeah, there's
in
a couple of
life.
dangers. Like the
Yeah.
first example of somebody
Offline, maybe.
using AI to generate the content. This
I
is
like
the
this.
problem. Too many people are using AI to do the thinking for them, and then they'll do the labor. So AI will tell you what to say, and then you just get on the
Yeah,
camera and you
AI
say it.
helps.
I think
But
the
it's all about
that
you,
direction
man.
is totally flipped.
It's all
It should
about
be,
you.
You do the
If you
thinking
have
and
brain,
the machine do the
You have
work.
knowledge.
So when I meet you in person, it's just empty because you're not
Yeah,
tapped
you have
into AI
experience.
right now. You don't
Yeah.
know what it knows. So you read the
You'll
lines, but you're
talk
not learning
much
the lines yourself.
in your
The
daily
biggest
life.
disappointment that anybody's
in your
ever had
career,
is finally you get to
obviously.
meet this person you've been following for so many years.
All right, 11 people.
How they
Shut up.
be online.
1:27 a.m. over here.
This is why they have
I
massive
should sleep
fear
right
and
now.
anxiety around meeting real
Have a
people
good day,
because they know
everyone.
they got nothing.
Whenever you are,
There's no personality,
keep
there's
your
no
spirit
ideas
up.
because you just haven't retained
Don't
anything at all.
you ever give up,
I know this
and
because my team
enjoy
will
your
read
day,
this to read.
enjoy your life,
I'll read it
and
like a monkey. I'll
always
read the
happy.
camera.
Bye.